Hey, what's going on, Who Dat Nation? And welcome to another edition of the State of the Saints podcast, where we talk New Orleans Saints. My name is TJ Jones. Thanks for checking out the podcast. I really do appreciate it. Well, Who Dat Nation, it is an end of an era. According to sources, Mark Ingram has signed a 3-year contract, $15 million, 3 years, $15 million with the Baltimore Ravens. Now, this is truly an end of an era. Mark Ingram spent 8 years with the New Orleans Saints, and as a Saints fan, and I'm pretty sure you feel the same way, we want to thank Mark Ingram for his contributions to the New Orleans Saints organization. But the Saints move forward with their new running back, Latavius Murray, who signed a 4-year, $14.4 million. He does have some big shoes to fill, but luckily for him, he's a big man, 6'3", 230 pounds. So I think that he will be good for the black and gold. But let's go ahead and talk about this contract that Mark Ingram got. 3 years, $15 million with the Baltimore Ravens. I don't know what the hell the Saints offered Mark Ingram, but it couldn't have been $5 million a year. It couldn't have. When I did a podcast in the past, I said that if I were the Saints, I would give him a 2-year, $10 million contract. That is $5 million a year. But he got 3 years, $15 million, so that's still $5 million a year. That's just an extra year of what I said. But I don't know. I don't know if the Saints just didn't want to give him this money. If you look at Latavius Murray contract, it averaged out to about $3.6 million a year. So the Saints, I guess they feel like they're getting a guy who can give them the same type of production and at a cheaper price. But I don't think you can replace a guy like a Mark Ingram. You can probably replace his field production, but what he means to the locker room and the intensity and the motivation that he plays with, I don't think that can be replaced. I don't know Latavius Murray from that particular level. I mean, I've seen him play when he was with the Raiders and with the Vikings, but at the end of the day, I don't feel like his running style is the same as Mark Ingram. He's faster than Mark Ingram, but I don't know his heart. I don't know his determination. I don't know what gets him up, but I know what Mark Ingram did. When Mark Ingram made a mistake, Mark Ingram comes back more and more aggressive and more intense. I don't know about Latavius Murray, but only time will tell. We also have some more news. This involves quarterback Teddy Bridgewater. Now, a couple of days ago, sources were saying that Teddy Bridgewater will resign with the New Orleans Saints, but not so fast, in the words of Lee Corso. It don't look that way. It looks like he is going to first go see what the Miami Dolphins are talking about. Now, the Miami Dolphins are trying to steal Teddy Bridgewater away from the New Orleans Saints. And according to sources as well, the Saints were going to give Teddy Bridgewater $7 million a year. Okay, $7 million a year to be the backup to Drew Brees. And, of course, we know that he would be Drew Brees' successor when Drew Brees decides to retire, but the Miami Dolphins want him. Now, first, I'm going to give you the pros and the cons, okay? This would be the pros if you're Teddy Bridgewater. Now, I'm talking about if Teddy Bridgewater decides to play for the Miami Dolphins, okay? This would be the pros. The pros would be that he will be playing for his hometown team, okay? Teddy Bridgewater is from Florida, and he grew up around the Miami area. So for him to be able to go and play for the team that he watched on television, that probably would be a dream come true. But here's where the cons start, okay? You're not going to get a coach like Sean Payton. You're not going to be able to get a team like the New Orleans Saints. The Miami Dolphins, look, that's a good place. I've been to Miami, man. I love Miami, man. I've been there a couple times. Great place, man, the vacation and have a good time and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, ain't much winning going on in Miami. But there is some winning going on in New Orleans. You know that you have a great offensive mind. And I feel like this. If Teddy Bridgewater goes to the Miami Dolphins, he shows me that he cares more about money than winning. He cares more about just lining his pockets than being a champion. And they got players like that. They got players that just sells themselves to the highest bidder wherever the money at, that's where they want to go. Now, before people say something and they say that, well, TJ, on the last edition, you said that players need to make sure that they're financially stable. They need to make sure that they get the best contracts possible. Yes, okay, but look at it this way. There's two different situations when it comes to Teddy Bridgewater and Mark Ingram, okay? Let me break this down. Mark Ingram is a running back. Teddy Bridgewater is a quarterback. These are two positions that are completely different. If you look at the career of a running back in the National Football League, it's not that long. Okay, when they reach the age of 30, and Mark Ingram is 29, and in a lot of people's mind, he's already 30. The only difference is that Mark Ingram doesn't turn 30 until December. So a lot of people are looking at him like, okay, he is close to 30 years old. He's on his way out, and he's not going to get that big contract. He's not going to get that big payday. But you look at somebody like a Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater can get 2, 3, maybe even 4 new contracts, man, and line his pockets. And I feel like the best scenario that he can be in, if he wants to be a guy who can be a champion, if he wants to be a guy who is one of those guys that can possibly have a Hall of Fame career, if he wants to be one of those guys that can be in contention for a Super Bowl championship, he needs to stay with the New Orleans Saints, because I think that this would be a good move for him. Now, you can go to Miami. They'll probably give you more money. You can be the starting quarterback. But at the end of the day, what are you going to do? I mean, you get with a coach that don't understand you, a guy that's not going to put you in a position to succeed, and you can go out there and look absolutely horrible on the field, and the next thing you know, people are talking about you like they talk about Blake Bortles. Teddy Bridgewater really needs to think about his future. He really needs to do what's best for him. Now, if you want to go out there and the Miami Dolphins wow you and you think that you're going to win in a division where Tom Brady still plays, good luck, buddy, because Tom Brady owns that division and he owns the Miami Dolphins. For the exception, if they play in Miami, then he's not that good. But at the end of the day, Teddy Bridgewater has to make the right decision. The Saints also have defensive end Ziggy Ansah. He is scheduled to have a visit with the New Orleans Saints. I like this move right here because I think that he would be a good pass rush for the New Orleans Saints. When Ziggy Ansah came into the league, he was one of those guys that was a guy with a lot of potential. Kind of reminds me of a Marcus Davenport, a guy that had good upside, but he still needed some work. And as you watch Ziggy Ansah over the years, he got better and better. He's coming off shoulder surgery, so a lot of teams are kind of raising their eyebrows with that. But I think that the Saints will get some really good production out of Ziggy Ansah. I like Ziggy Ansah. I think he plays with a lot of heart. He has a good motor, and he's one of those guys that I feel like can contribute and get the Saints where they need to be. I mean, Marcus Davenport, I mean, we've seen flashes from him, but he's still one of those guys that's a raw talent, and the New Orleans Saints are trying to take their time with him. You also have like Cam Jordan, a guy like that, you know, that's a guy that's a leader, a guy you already know what you're going to get out of him. So to put Ziggy Ansah in the game on the other side of Cameron Jordan, I think the Saints can wreak havoc, and I think that, you know, the Saints can have a legit pass rush. The last story that I want to address is this whole Sean Payton, Dallas Cowboy 2020 conversation. Look, let me help you out with something, all right? The Saints have a bright future. The Saints have a bright future. I mean, the future is bright for the New Orleans Saints. Now, I understand what the media is trying to do. Oh, man, y'all love to stir the pot, okay? I can literally, if I close my eyes, I can literally see you all stirring that pot like those witches on that movie. You know, when the witch take that big old wooden spoon and she's stirring that big black pot, man. And that's what I see when it comes to the media. The media are always trying to stir the pot. They're always trying to make some type of controversy. Let's just make one thing clear. The New Orleans Saints are not going to allow Sean Payton to get out the door. Just not going to happen. Sean Payton is not going to lead the New Orleans Saints. Now, I know people love the Dallas Cowboys. I'm one of those people that I don't understand why. I don't understand why people waste their time getting their heart broken year after year and still have to bring up 1995 when they lose. I don't understand it. But the Dallas Cowboys are always in the news, and now they're trying to talk about how Sean Payton is going to go there. No, he's not. Why would Sean Payton want to go to Dallas when the New Orleans Saints have some of the best young talent in the National Football League? I mean, you look at the Saints team, the majority of the players are under the age of 25 years old, man, which means that the New Orleans Saints, I mean, the future is so bright with this team. So why wouldn't Sean Payton want to win championships with guys that he has developed? He knows their tendencies. He knows what he can get out of a guy, and he knows these guys' potential. So why would he leave all that to go to that media circus that is the Dallas Cowboys? I have no idea. I don't see it happening. There's no way the Saints are going to let this happen. And I think that Sean Payton understands that he wants to win championships with the New Orleans Saints. And I think that the New Orleans Saints love Sean Payton. We, as Saint fans, love Sean Payton. It's not going to happen. So media, try to find another story. You know, focus mostly on that Mike Tomlin divided locker room with the Pittsburgh Steelers and talk about how Jerry Jones is having issues with free agents and he's not as aggressive with free agency anymore. Yeah, focus on them stories and how LeBron James laid an egg. Okay, let's focus on those things. Let's not focus on the Saints because, I mean, you're barking up the wrong tree. How many times have we seen that Sean Payton is going to go to Dallas or he's going to go to Indianapolis? We've seen it so many times, but I'm not paying any attention to that. But that has been your Saints news. Let me know what you think about Mark Ingram going to the Ravens, Ziggy Ansah, and also Teddy Bridgewater and Sean Payton. Comment down below, like and share this video. Previous episodes of the State of the Saints podcast are on iTunes, Spotify, and iHeartRadio.com. Till next time, all I have to say is, who dat?